Hi everyone, this is part 2 of how to crochet this hexagon purse with the zipper. In case you missed watching part 1, I'll leave a link in the description box below. In part 1, we saw how to make these hexagons. We needed to make 6 of them, and also these little granny triangles, of which we needed 4. Today we're going to see how to join them together to make this pretty purse, along with how to add the border on top and hand sew a zipper. You see where the stitches are showing or facing you, that's the right or the correct side. So we're going to place the hexagons with the right side facing on top, and we're simply going to arrange it like this: 1 below, 2 in the middle row, and 3 hexagons on the row above. We're going to place them together so they adjoin each other, and now we're going to see how to join them. Now all these sides where the hexagons are touching one another need to be attached. There are many ways to do that. I'm going to show you 2 very simple ways with a tapestry needle and yarn. In this sample, I've used a couple of different ways to join. One is like a bridge that is a little open. The other is a closed ridge, if you can see it closely. For both these methods, you need a yarn needle and yarn in any color of your choice. There are also ways to join them with a crochet hook, but what I'm about to show you is much easier. At least I find it much easier. So let's begin. Now for method 1, which we're just going to call closed ridge method, we're going to simply take a color of your choice. I have chosen a contrast color so you can see it better, and we're going to see how to join our first 2 hexagons together. Remember the pattern I showed you in the beginning. This is how we place them first, and we're going to join these sides together where they intersect. So to begin with, just take any 2 hexagons and place them in a way that the right sides are facing you, facing upwards like this. And now with our needle, we are going to insert our needle under the stitch but into both loops. So you see I'm going under both loops of 1 stitch on one hexagon, and I'm going under both loops on the other hexagon. But the loops should be corresponding. So just make sure that they match the sides and the stitches, and you're going to simply sew it under both loops of the hexagons on opposite side, on either side. And then we're going to come back from the other side again under both loops of our second hexagon and both loops of the first one. Pull your needle and thread through and simply keep sewing it this way and that way, going under both loops and making sure that you're picking the corresponding stitches as you sew them. When you finish attaching with this method, this is how it's going to look. You're going to have these little stitch marks on either side. Of course, when you use the same color yarn, it's not going to show out like this, but we're going to see the difference between this and the other method now, as I'm going to continue from here and show you the second method, which is the open bridge effect, like I call it. I'm sure it has a better name or some other name. But anyway, I'm just going to show you a sample of that, for which you're going to place right sides facing inwards now. We're going to place the hexagons with right sides facing inside, and now we're going to sew them together by picking only the top loops of both. So the top loop of one hexagon and the top loop of the other hexagon. You're simply going to sew it through. You see there are 2 loops, one below and one above. We're going to simply stitch through the top loops. In the earlier method, we stitched them through both loops, and now we're just going to attach the top loops together. But the way we stitch is the same. We're just going to come from this side, pull the needle and thread over, and then come from the other side. But when you stitch them like this, picking only the outer loops, then you will see that it has a slightly different effect. As I'm about to finish, I'm going to open this out and show you the difference between both the methods. You can clearly see that the finishing looks very different. The one on my left is what we're going to call the open bridge method, which is what we just did. It has a little openness. The one on my right here is what we did in the beginning. That is a little more closed and interwoven together. So you can see both the effects, and you can pick and choose which method you like and go ahead and attach all the 6 hexagons in that way. I'm actually going to go ahead with the first method of going under both loops because I found that was much easier with this project. So this is my final look. Please ignore that one piece on top right, which is a slightly different shade of green. My bad. But this is how my finishing looks after joining the 6 hexagons, and now we're going to see how to fold it to make our purse. So we're now going to place the right side facing downwards and the wrong side facing upwards. So this is the wrong side that's looking at you. Now take the bottom part and fold it over to meet the top and fold in the side hexagons like this. So this is how we're going to attach the remaining sides together using the same method that you followed. So we're going to join these 2 intersecting sides first on either side, left and right. We're going to leave the top portion open, just those 2 intersecting sides, and then you have this little hole in the bottom. We're just going to attach that as well. When we're done with one side, we just simply have to fasten the yarn. So I'm going to take the needle inside into the wrong side, and I'm going to weave in the end and cut the yarn. I'm simply going to repeat the same process on the other side and we'll come back. Okay, that green is really bothering me now. Here's how it looks when we're done joining all the 6 hexagons together. That's the inside of our purse. We're not going to attach the top. We're going to add some triangles on top, for which we've already made 4 triangles. So I'm going to show you how to add them. Simply place the triangles in the space above and use the same method that you used for the hexagon to join your triangle to the top. So I'm going under both loops because that's the method that I use to join my hexagons as well. I'm just going to go under both loops of the hexagon and the adjoining triangular side. Now that we've joined all the 4 triangles, I'm going to show you how to attach the border on top, for which I have chosen a contrast color. So you can pick any color you want. All you need to do is simply attach the new color from either side. So I'm just going to enter the corner on my right over here and going to attach the new color. Just bring the new yarn in with your hook and chain 1 to secure. There you go. Now we're going to add single crochet stitches on top of each triangle there. I experimented with this a few times and found that if I crocheted 17 single crochet stitches on top of each triangle, And in addition to that, I made a few corner stitches in each corner. Then I would get a neater border. So just go ahead and try and crochet 17 single crochet stitches on top of each triangle. That would give you 68 stitches because you have 4 triangles. And then when you come to each corner, you're going to do 3 single crochet in the corner. So you have 2 corners here, 2 edges on either side, left and right. We're going to do 3 single crochet when we come into the turning corner. I'll show you that in a bit. But I'm just finishing my first set of 17, and then I come to this intersection point between the 2 triangles. And yeah, remember to place 1 stitch there at that point of intersection as well. And then you continue crocheting along the top of the second triangle there again. So you can see how you want to place stitches. In some gaps I've placed 2 single crochets, in some gaps I've placed 3 single crochets. As long as you can fill in those gaps reasonably well, and if it looks symmetrical to you, that should be good. So there I am, finishing roughly 17 stitches on top of my second triangle. And then I'll show you that when you come to this edge over here, there, this corner edge, yeah, once you finish the 2 triangles, then you turn, and into that corner we're going to place 3 single crochet. This is not counted as part of the 17. So we're just going to make 3 single crochet, which will be like the turning stitches, and then we're going to continue on the next triangle at the back and continue making 17 on top of that, and so on and so forth till we come to the next edge. Into that corner on the other end of the purse again, I'm going to make 3 single crochets, and then we're going to slip stitch into the very first stitch of this round. So we slip stitch to close at the end of the first round of our border. In round 2 of our border, we're going to single crochet into each stitch till we come to the middle. There you see a little dip there. Into that center stitch we're going to do 1/2 double crochet, then continue with single crochet all around till we come to the center of the other side. There again we're going to do 1/2 double crochet in that center stitch which dips inside, and continue with single crochet for the remaining stitches. I finished round 2 with a slip stitch to the beginning stitch, and I added one more row of just 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So there we have our border with 3 rows of single crochet stitches, and now we're good to cut our yarn and weave in the tail end. This is entirely optional. I want to add a contrast color on top and make a nice edge to my border. So we do that by simply doing 1 slip stitch into each stitch around. So enter the next stitch with a new color, grab your yarn and complete your slip stitch. Simply continue making 1 slip stitch into each stitch around on the top row. This gives it a nicer edge and definitely a tighter close knit finish, which will help us when we add our zipper. Now we are ready to attach our zipper on top. The zip should be a little wider than the width of the purse. So my purse here measures 20 centimeters wide. So I have taken a zipper which is about 22.5 centimeters wide. A little disclaimer here is that I am not an expert at attaching zips. I'm simply going to show you a very simple way to do this by hand. I'm sure many of you would have tried this better or in different ways and may even be experts at doing this, so please forgive me if this is not up to your standard of excellence, but this will serve the purpose pretty much. We're first going to see and test whether the zip works well, so just try to open it once and close it before placing. And now when the zip is closed, you know, the end where it's closed, we're just going to take that and place it inside one edge of the purse like this. And now we're going to simply attach the two together. We're going to start from the inside as always because we don't want the knot to show out, and we're just going to make these simple stitches along, attaching the zip line, the end of the zip, to the crocheted part of your border. Of course, when we choose a thread which is the same color as our crochet border, it's not going to show, but for the purpose of the tutorial and for a little bit of a contrast, I've taken a brown color so you can see hopefully. I'm just stitching it as many times as I feel it needs to be secure. Now to stitch along the length, you're going to have to unzip it first on top. So just open the zip and then place the length along the border, and we're going to simply do back stitches all along, attaching the zipper and the crochet border. This is like any other back stitch that we do normally. This is how we do it. You're going to start by a simple in and out with the needle, attaching the crochet border and the zip, and now you're going to take the needle one step at the back, go in one step from the back and come out through one step from the front. This is back stitch. So wherever the thread comes out of, go one step behind, go in and come out ahead of the thread. Again, step in from the back and step out from the front. So we keep doing this all along. Thread's about to finish, you can take it to the back and wind the thread in and attach new thread and begin once again and continue your back stitch. I'm just going to show you that in a bit because my thread's about to finish here. So I'm just going to take the needle to the back here. That's how it's going to look from behind. We're going to do this back stitch till we reach the end of the zipper, and then we're going to attach this end in the same way that we attached the beginning. I have only a short length of the zipper inside, so I'm just going to continue stitching. If you have a longer length, you can cut off a little bit of the length. Once you feel it's secure enough, you can tie a knot and cut the thread. And we're going to continue back stitching on the other side of the zip. That's it, we're done. And as I said, although this is not an expert way to attach a zipper, it works pretty well and is very easy to do it just by hand sewing. To give you a rough idea of the yarn used, I took 4 balls of 50 grams or 100 meters of yarn, and I could make these 2 purses out of them. Hope you enjoyed making from this video. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to our channel for more such tutorials. We'd also love to hear from you on our comments below. Thank you.